dinosaurs like Stegosaurus, Allosaurus, and Camarasaurus lived in the Jurassic period and died out tens of millions of years before dinosaurs like Tyrannosaurus Rex showed up. In fact, the time that separates those dinosaurs from T-Rex is longer than the amount of time that separates T-Rex from us.
The thing about extinction events is that, of course, they're very bad for the animals that go extinct, but they open up a door of opportunity for a lot of other animals and plants. And basically, once certain species disappear, then other species will evolve and change and take over their place in that particular ecosystem or habitat.
Ultimately, it would be the giant asteroid that would end the reign of the dinosaurs. But that deadly space missile took over 250 million years to finally reach Earth. In the meantime, the dinosaurs waged a savage battle for survival as the asteroid made a beeline for Earth. $144 million years ago, at the end of the Jurassic era, many dinosaur species fell victim to climate changes that likely brought about their first extinction. But a host of others managed to rise to power.
More efficient plant eaters like Gastonia and Tenontosaurus were able to fill the void left by their predecessors. And in turn, new predators appeared along with them.
At the top of the food chain, the raptors.
These predators were more advanced than their earlier cousins. This is when raptors like Deinonychus and Utahraptor made their debut.
Over the next 79 million years, dinosaurs continued to reign as the unchallenged rulers of Earth. No other animals could match their size, power, and ferocity. By the end of the Cretaceous period, global environmental changes saw the emergence of tougher, more fibrous species of plants. To take advantage of these new food sources, specially adapted herbivores evolved.
By the end of the Cretaceous, we had some very advanced dinosaurs. There were lots of species of ceratopsians, these were the horned dinosaurs, and there were an abundance of duck-billed dinosaurs called hadrosaurs. Both of these groups had remarkably advanced teeth and jaw design, which allowed them to eat a wider variety of plants. And the predators also had become more advanced. Dinosaurs like Albertosaurus was able to hunt cooperatively with other members of their own family, while raptors took pack hunting to a whole new level. But sitting atop all of these was Tyrannosaurus Rex. He was the ultimate predator in Earth's history, and yet with all these evolutionary advancements, they literally disappeared in the blink of an eye. "65 million years ago, the giant asteroid that had been hurtling towards Earth finally struck. On land and in the sea, nothing was safe.
All the dinosaurs in the world at that time became extinct, along with a lot of the big reptiles that sort of looked like dinosaurs. Things like mosasaurs, plesiosaurs in the ocean, and on land, of course, the Tyrannosaurus Rex and Nanotyrannus and Triceratops, and all the duck-billed dinosaurs and all the little raptors and so forth. It was a pretty much extinction of everything.
For many years, scientists were baffled by this instant Armageddon. To experts, it was astounding that so much carnage could have hit in a sudden, catastrophic event.
The time in geological history that separates the end of the Cretaceous from the Tertiary period is marked with a very distinctive band of clay. You can see this thin band in locations throughout the world, and it clearly marks the spot where something major had taken place. Below it we find dinosaurs, pterosaurs, and a variety of giant sea reptiles. But above that line, we don't see any evidence of these same creatures. So this layer clearly represents that something dramatic had happened on Earth that caused a mass extinction in a very short time.
The layer that separates the two periods is called the KT boundary. The KT boundary marks the end of the age of dinosaurs and the beginning of the age of mammals. But does the KT boundary signify the absolute end of all dinosaurs? Incredibly, many experts believe that dinosaurs are still among us.
At 65.5 million years ago, the age of dinosaurs came to an end. After that point, mammals were the dominant land-living creature. However, it's important to remember that although the age of dinosaurs came to an end, the dinosaurs themselves did not. Well, it turns out that one branch of that group survived, and that's the great group of birds. Birds themselves are the descendants of creatures very closely related to things like Deinonychus and Utahraptor. And so birds are, by definition, part of the dinosaur group. So the dinosaurs survived, but I have to say, all the really cool ones died out.
This extinction event was not only distinctive for how quickly it happened. The force of this blast is simply unimaginable to us today.
There are numerous kinds of extinction events. Some can be local, where only a few plants and animal species are affected. Some can be regional, where quite a few species get it. And then there are those events that are so enormous, they make modern Hollywood effects look like an Ed Wood movie effect.
Still, scientists were initially at a loss to explain how this could have happened. One theory pointed to global warming. Climate change had likely been a major factor in the first dinosaur extinction, so it seemed a likely candidate as the cause of the second one. The fact that the blast impacted land and sea creatures alike seemed to support this theory.
Extinction's actually worldwide. It's not just a terrestrial phenomenon. It doesn't occur just on land. In fact, most of the really spectacular extinctions have been based in the oceans. So we have whole groups of animals which are simply not around today. And extinction in the marine realm is really for the same reasons it occurs on land.
The loss of so many species at the end of the Cretaceous period would stymie scientists for years. But finally, a startling discovery would change everything. Like something out of a science fiction movie, it would shock scientists around the world. The cause of a mass Armageddon some 65 million years ago had baffled modern science for decades. There seemed to be some sort of missing evidence, but no one could seem to figure out what it was. In 1980, a miraculous find would finally lift the veil of mystery. What Dr. Luis Alvarez and his son, Dr. Walter Alvarez, uncovered would set off a firestorm.
In 1980, when Luis and Walter Alvarez were looking at the sedimentation rates, they weren't really interested so much in the extinction of dinosaurs. They were looking at measuring the rate of sedimentation of deep ocean sediments. One particular little layer, though, however, showed a whopping increase in the concentration of the metal iridium. I mean, they calculated if you were to spread the amount of iridium in this layer, that adds up to a total amount of material